Let's talk a little USC Trojans as they jump into the #1 spot with a flurry of commitments this week, and it should come as no surprise because Scott Schrader has been telling you guys all offseason that it's going to happen, and this week, boy, did things blow up. Two big names I want to talk about with you are Kenyi Pepe from IMG Academy and cornerback Elbert Hill out of Cleveland. Now, Pepe's an offensive tackle. If I'm looking at this right, do both of these players have a chance to come in and start from day one?
I mean, that's a good question because USC might be at the point to where they're looking timing wise. It could work out to where Kenai could be competing for that. But I think realistically, obviously, that can be challenging for those guys. And I think it just depends on who's back after this football season. But I think timing wise, it could play out to where he's definitely in the mix for competing for that physically ready, size wise. So, yeah, as far as being able to come in and start right away, I mean, I always hesitate to say yes on those kind of questions, but yeah, I mean, I certainly wouldn't say they can't compete either.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge pickups over the week. Well, last week into the weekend for USC, now sitting at #1, and they are not done. Two big names on the offensive side of the ball I want to talk to you about is Jaylen L and quarterback Ryder Lyons. We know their priorities for USC. Are these two names that USC could add before summer's up?
Yeah, it's Jaylen L is really one of the few receivers that USC probably has room for that is in the category of having pretty good interest. I think that he's gonna come and take his official visit to USC. I don't know exactly what the date is, but he was just also at USC for the final spring practice on April 26th. So he has a sister that runs track at USC as well. So there's a lot of familiarity with USC, what the school and the program has to offer. So I do expect him to be committed this summer. I missed out on hearing. My hearing isn't that great here outside. Who was the other prospect we're talking about?
Quarterback Ryder Lyons. Now, we've talked about him a lot. We know that he's more of a 2027 recruit, but the time, energy, it's been put into this recruitment by the USC coaching staff. Are we close to the finish line with Ryder Lyons?
Yeah, that's another one. I think so. I don't think it's going to go past summer with him as well, and I do think that USC is in a really strong spot for him as they have been for quite a while. He's another guy that visited probably 5 or 6 times just this year. In the we'll say 6 months, and I think that he's definitely somebody that's not going to go. I don't think he's going to go past July with his recruitment.
All right, and like we said, he is, for all intents and purposes, a 2027 recruit, but also an important piece to this class. So, that being said, last year at this time, this is when the USC recruiting class began to fall apart. They loaded up early, began to fall apart right before summer hits. This year, it feels the exact opposite. Right now, USC is really hitting their stride. Things are not falling apart. Why does it seem like this year they're going to be able to hold on to what they've got, whereas last year everything kind of left them by the time summer rolled around?
Well, I think for one, these guys are committing under different circumstances. Last year you had guys like Justice Terry and Isaiah Gibson come out here, and they were basically just kind of overwhelmed, I think, with what was going on. And we got somebody here who wants to say, hey, Deshawn R.
Hey, my man.
What up?
Deshawn, I wasn't sure. I thought that late visit to Michigan was going to pull you in, but in the end, you're a Trojan, so congrats.
I appreciate you, man. I had to throw the whole word off, man. I always have a plan for when I do stuff, man, and I knew that I was going to shake heads a little bit, but we know where home is for real. Come on, I'll be repping that all day.
All right.
One of the top performers today at the Under Armour camp, by the way.
Good to see Deshawn R, future USC Trojan.
Never stop.
Hey, we're talking about Ryder Lyons. What do you think?
Love him. Get him. We need him. We need him. We need him. I'm out. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you, man. And so I think the reason why they're not going to experience a lot of they're to not have any decommits is almost impossible when you got 27 guys committed by
Yeah.
May 5th. But I think that they have a really good coaching staff in place. Last year, almost the entire defensive staff had just got to USC in like January. So there wasn't a whole lot of familiarity with those guys. You had Eric Henderson, who had come from the Los Angeles Rams. He hadn't recruited at all previous to that.
Yeah.
You got Trojan Reed, who's been added to the staff, and he's a guy that kids are really familiar with on other parts of the country. But I think the biggest difference is that their NIL collective is in really, really strong shape right now. And I think ultimately that's probably the biggest determiner on them not losing a whole lot of kids this go around.
All right. Well, Scott, see you out there at the Under Armour camp right now. Go do your work. Go talk to these USC recruits. You guys do a great job on We Are SC, and we'll talk to you soon. Appreciate you.